Hi folks, welcome back to the Model 3 Man channel. And do I have an interesting episode for you today? Now, I'm one of life's incurable optimists. Almost nothing makes me sad. From time to time I'll get nostalgic, and often music will do that to me. Combine music with a good movie and it does that in double measure. But just yesterday I had occasion to feel very nostalgic all over again. Let me tell you why. I was nostalgic for that first exhilarating, ecstatic feeling that I experienced when I picked up our 2012 Nissan Leaf. And Janine and I drove out of the showroom in this car. The acceleration, the torque, the silence, the whole experience of EVs was brand new for me, and it was heady stuff. And then fast forward 6 years, and Janine and I are picking up Red Dragon from the parking lot where they were busy dispensing all of the Model 3s, third day that they arrived in Canada. And that brilliant, wonderful feeling, that ecstatic feeling, was multiple times greater than when I'd taken the Leaf. And you know what? Since that time, here's the sad thing. Here's why I got nostalgic. I've come to regard the Model 3 as normal. I mean, it's wonderful, it's phenomenal to drive, but kind of normal, the new normal. I don't get that same original feeling of exhilaration as I sit in it. I get a very deep-seated feeling of satisfaction and love for the car. So yesterday I got a text, and the text was from a good friend called Darrin. I've been in an exercise group with him for years, I've known him for a long time, and he simply texted this: "Hey Peter, finally bought a Model 3 white standard range plus. Do you want to come around and see it, do an interview for your channel?" And he was one of the last guys that I figured would make the conversion. Now, let me just tell you, you guys are in for a real eye-opener of an interview. Darrin is engaging, he's funny, he's eloquent, he's intelligent. By the way, Darrin, I'll be watching the mail. Get that check in the mail soon. Eh? He is all of those. And he's a good friend of mine. And I went up there to have an interview and to chat with him for the benefit of all of us on the channel here. And you do not want to miss this. Here's why it matters to us. For each of you who own a Tesla, or you're on the edge of getting one, of deciding it, but particularly for you who are owners, we have what I would like to call a sacred trust. It's up to us to introduce the EV experience to the rest of the world. Yeah, we start with family and then we move on to friends, but it's up to us to do that. And as you listen to the interview with Darrin, you're going to be reminded of each of the triggers that can cause people to make that decision, to jump in, boots and all, and just become a member of the family. Here's my plea. The interview is 10 minutes in length. Then I get out and I go for a ride with Darrin, and I introduce him for the first time in his car to Autopilot. It was switched off. And to the hold mode, where you can practice one-pedal driving along some of the most scenic roads in BC, the Sea to Sky Highway, traveling all the way up to Whistler, but we didn't go that far. So the last part of the video upload today is getting home. After that ride, we look at the differences between the 2021 Model 3 and the good old traditional 2018, 2019, 2020. You may in the end just wish that you'd waited until 2021 to get your car. But be that as it may, stick with me. Please watch at least that first 10-minute interview. And if you've enjoyed it, go with us for the ride and come back and look at the differences between the two cars. So without further ado, here I am at Darrin's house, ready to chat with him. So we're here at the home of Darrin Hott, and his lovely wife just ran inside and hid when she saw the cameras. But Darrin has just taken possession of a lovely new Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus version. Or just standard range?
Just standard range, yeah.
Standard range?
Base.
Baseline, okay. I've known Darrin for a lot of years. He was the weakling in our exercise group, and I had to show him what to do and stuff like that. If you believe that, you believe anything. But of course, I've been talking about my Model 3 for absolutely ever.
Non-stop.
But here's the question. What persuaded you to go electric?
You were part of it. Okay. I mean, the way you talked about the car and the way it seemed like it made so much sense, that was a part of it. And then, we had a couple of other friends that have Model 3s here in the village where we live. And we looked at them and drove in them, and I drove them and myself, and I just thought, wow, unbelievable vehicle. But for me, honestly, it came down to the numbers. Like, that's what it came down to. So here's what happened. We've been talking about getting electric at some point, and we decided we would, eventually. And so we have this old Volvo that we're still driving, which we love. And we decided we were going to stay with it. We weren't going to sell it because last year we put a bunch of money into it and then needed tires. And we said, okay, should we now make the jump? Like, we're not ready yet. We're just going to keep it. So then, I don't know, a few weeks ago, Aaron says, well, I sure would like a Tesla. They should look really great. And let's just go down and look at one. We'll go down to the dealership.
Fatal mistake.
Yeah, you know what happens then, right? But the key for us actually was because we got there, and the night before, the BC grant came back on. So it was only the federal grant. The BC grant wasn't there yet. It had been off.
How much is the BC grant?
$3,000.
Okay.
3. So the federal's 5 and BC's 3. So we got there in the morning, and the lady said that the night before, they just heard the BC grant was back on. So we put our money down, and that was great too, because we could put it down and know we could get it back if we wanted to. But then it was like, okay, I'm going to crunch the numbers. Aaron drove the car, and the lady at the dealership, would you like to drive it? And I said, no, I've driven it. I don't need that. It's all about the numbers. So I needed to go home and crunch the numbers. And that was a really fascinating exercise, because I had to think, okay, what's going to be the state of my wealth 8 years from now if I get a Tesla, or if I keep my car, the old car, and keep it going.
So you're thinking of each one in terms of an 8-year timeline?
Something like that, yeah. Okay. Like if you made payments for 8 years on a Tesla, for instance, like what would it be at the end of it with the gas and the repairs and everything else? Depreciation. It's a murky exercise, but at the end of the day, it looked to me quite strongly like at the end of that 8 years, I would be better off for sure to have that Tesla than to drive an old gas car. Yeah. So that was it for me. That was my thing. That for Erin, she was concerned about that too, but she was really excited about the driving and all. That's what kind of got her hooked. But the other question was our driveway, and as you know, it's tricky. So, but we have our friends down the road who have a driveway that's similar, and because the weight is in the back end, or it's a rear-wheel drive. Yeah. If you're going up a hill, you've got the weight on the back. So that's probably going to work. And so we just, it works for them, and so we're confident it worked for us too. So anyway, a number of things that went into all of this, but the kids were sure excited to see the Tesla when they...
Now, once you got in and you drove it, clearly the numbers disappear and it becomes a drive experience. So given a lifetime, I worked out last night that I've been driving for 48 years in a gas car, but what is the drive experience like compared to combustion engine cars and the difference in feel?
It is hard to compare. It's really hard to compare because the power delivery is so insanely different. And not just off the line, but when you're at speed. So I'll give you an example. Yesterday we were driving. All 4 of us were in the car. We're driving on this highway, see this guy, and it's windy everywhere. We come up behind a logging truck, and it's raining hard, and it's messy, and there's dirt and things flying. We want to get past this truck. You don't want to sit behind. Oh, you don't want to sit. It's not even safe. My wife says, "Well, let's get ahead of that." I say, "Yeah, don't worry, we're going to." But I didn't want to do it on a curve because I didn't want to be on the outside of a curve when I pass it. I don't want to be on the inside because he was a bit all over the road, right? I want to wait for a straightaway. But there's so few straightaways on this road that when I saw one, I was able to punch it. And I think that in 2 seconds, I added 20K to my speed, and I was just instantly in front of that truck. On a straightaway, and it was much safer doing it then than trying to go, with the old gas car and it would take you longer to get around it. That's an insane difference that I think makes that car safer.
Yeah.
As long as you know how to drive that car. Now we've got a couple of kids coming up that are going to be driving the Tesla, and I hope that power delivery, they're not going to, it's not going to be too much for them, but we'll teach them how to
Here's a
how to handle
little feature you might not know about. You can go and set a maximum speed.
the maximum speed
in the app.
and the chill, the acceleration,
You can
the
put
chill.
it in chill mode, you can lock it, and you can put it into a maximum speed of X.
I know the maximum speed. I just increased it because I think Aaron increased it. So.
Now, another question. Have you tried the basic autopilot yet?
Yes, not in our car yet because we haven't had it many days, but in my friend's car I did it. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's just even on this highway here, it just it just sticks to the road. You can stay on it. You don't have to do anything with it. You just kind of drive it.
So but you haven't done it in your car yet?
Haven't done it in my car yet. No, I just haven't done it
Okay,
yet.
we're going to get in the road and do it.
All right. But you know what I really love actually is the cruise control. I cannot believe the cruise control, that especially that it'll slow down when it gets somebody in front of you like that.
Yeah.
I haven't driven a car like that yet, but that's just, to me, that's brilliant.
And the ability to set the distance. When we were coming up here, Janine said to me, Peter,
That's me,
you're
yeah,
right
yeah.
up the guy's backside.
Yeah.
Push off a little bit. So I pushed it onto 7, and we dropped back to a nice, discreet
Yeah.
Canadian distance.
Yeah, that's good. I like it at 7. That's why I like it. To me, that's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And the other thing about that too is that with all the hills on this road, in a gas car, if you're on cruise control and you start going downhill, it just builds up a bunch of speed.
Yeah.
But in the Tesla, it doesn't.
No,
Right?
it holds back.
It holds back. So you stay at that exact speed the whole time.
Yeah. Well, I got an interesting comment on one of my channels last night, and it was, what's so great about one-pedal driving? So I said, well, the first thing is great is that you save on your brakes a lot, because if you're using the accelerator to decelerate, you're not hitting the brake pads. And then he said, well, you can do it in this car and that car and this car, and if you touch the brake, it actually uses regen. Right. So I said, well, there's something beautiful about the act of controlling your speed and distance and stopping point all on one foot.
Yeah.
And it becomes an art form.
Yeah.
So try that. Play with the accelerator when you can anticipate when you're going to stop, like there are lights or there's a slowdown. Use it to feather just enough of a slowdown so you're not coming to a stop too early, but you're not hitting the car.
Yeah, and that takes something getting used to because it doesn't coast. When you take the gas, you take your foot off the gas.
It slows you down.
What are you taking the foot off? The electricity? Is that what we're saying now? When you take the foot off the electricity, it starts to, really slows down quick. So it does take a bit of getting used to.
Just one other, what the heck was I going to ask?
I don't know, but it was a great question.
It was a very good question. Now,
one of the other things I noticed different in handling, the tires are harder and they're at about 42 pounds,
right.
Which is different than our other cars that are about 35, 36 pounds. But there is something about the handling. It handles tight. And it does feel like the weight is way down low and really stable, which means a lot, really, because that's another safety thing. It just feels like you're always in control, and the thing is so. But again, the fact that you can change the way it steers and the way the acceleration hits on your screen,
on the screen, and that was my question.
That was your question. That was a great question.
How have you felt with just a touch screen for your control center? Not to have controls anywhere else, but just on the touch screen.
Yeah, I'm getting used to that. I'll be honest. Erin and I were talking about it yesterday, that she was driving it and she was trying to find something and she had to ask me to find it because something about the defrost. That was a defog. I had to go find that because she was busy driving and she couldn't really. So I guess you get used to it and you find out where it is. But I do wish that there was the option of having a couple more buttons, maybe 2 more on the steering wheel or something that you could assign to something else, I don't know.
So you do know on the left stalk that you can push the end button and the windshield wipers will instantly start to move. Because that's a safety thing,
Yeah.
Sudden bunch of water comes at you,
Right.
you got to get rid of that.
Oh, that's a good
So
point.
that's
I never thought of
one.
that.
And the other one, of course, is I showed Janine on the way up here when I was talking to her just before. It was a very simple one. Push the right-hand wheel and just say, open glove box. Or turn media on. Or stop playing or anything. So don't have to take your hands off the wheel or look down there. Just tell it. So let's take a drive down there. And as we're driving, you can comment on other things that as they come up, it'll be, this is another thing.
Yeah.
By the way, that little thing in front of you there,
Yeah.
I guess that's what swung the deal for you.
That's right.
I heard that
we got 2 for 1 that day. 2 for 1
Teslas. They
Teslas.
didn't have any more of these.
No, they don't. But this one is on sale, available to you, Peter, for the low price of. We'll talk about it later.
Channel viewers.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right.
But something I was going to say that was important to us, and we realized this with our neighbors that have a teenage daughter that's driving the Tesla. And I don't know how the teenagers are going to feel about this, but we can see where they are. We can see how fast they're driving. Like that's actually something that's meaningful. We can see where the car is. We can see how it's being driven. And so,
very true.
Again, I don't know how our kids are going to feel about that in the years to come, but too bad.
And you know the nice thing? They cannot turn it off.
Yeah.
They cannot turn it off. It's going to do that, and it's going to report in the app.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The other thing that occurred to me after we got the car and I drove it for a little bit, I thought, like, my dad died 11 years ago. And he liked cars, and he was into technology a little bit, and he understood some of that stuff. And I think he knew electric was there and it was coming and all that. But man, I just wish that he could drive this car. It would have blown his mind.
Absolutely.
It would have blown his mind. Now maybe they must be driving electric in heaven, not gas. Anyway, so he's probably got one.
Drive gasoline in heaven, surely.
No, surely not. He must have a Model X up there, or an S.
Or
he's probably driving the S. I
or
think.
A model that we haven't even seen developed yet.
That's right. That's right.
Let's jump in the car and we'll just look at this driveway first. Guys, this driveway is the worst you can get, and it is. If the car can get up here and you can navigate it here, trust me, any of your driveways, it'll work.
Yeah, and it's worse live than it is on video, because I've recorded some things on this driveway and cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever you see on the video, it's worse. Trust me.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so
I should probably put it on, shouldn't I?
All right, we're going to get Darrin to do the right thing here and just put that mask on. Darrin is reversing down this terrible driveway. Janine's filming it from the outside so you can see how it goes, but let's give it a go. Don't look at my camera, look at the road.
Yes, but I need to see my mirror, though. On this road, to do this properly, you need to use your mirrors, not the camera. Because the camera gives you an idea of kind of what's there. If you move that just back a little bit, there we go. As long as I see where that one edge is, and I stick by it.
There's Dragon Lady faithfully filming over there.
Dragon Lady. I love that. So good.
People accuse me of insulting her, and I said it's a term of endearment.
Absolutely. In this case.
You can see it in the touch screen here.
Now you can hear it sliding a little bit. Wow. That's how intense this driveway is.
My gosh.
And I'll tell you something, in this little village where we live, this is definitely not the worst driveway.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of driveways that are worse than this. So I would go back down if you don't want me to go any farther or not to the other part of the driveway.
We can go back up again now and just...
All right, well, ready for this? I normally drive up like this and just... You can hear that. Looks like the traction control kind of stutters a little bit there. But let's see if we can do this kind of halfway.
You're gonna stop.
Yeah, move the camera back just a little bit. If we do it like this and sort of at the worst part of the hill. I mean, this is the worst part right here. It's the steepest, craziest. I mean, this is insane. Now, I wonder if we can just like start it from here.
With the tires at 42, that might be a challenge.
Might be, yeah. It's okay. We're all about challenges.
Let's give it a go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's doing it.
Nothing.
It's doing it.
No problem at all. You can hear the traction control a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But it just did. I think it's because it's rear wheel drive. The weight is on the back wheels.
It's on the back.
And so it works.
Wow. See, the only person in the car without a mask is
Mabel.
Mabel, okay.
Model
look at that. Oh, yes. Mabel, do you want to drive this car? Do you think that a dog can drive a car that has autopilot?
One way to find out.
What beautiful eyes, hey?
be glad when we don't have to wear these masks anymore, I can tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll be nice. Yeah, I love that car. That is such a good car. But
So this is a little hamlet of Lions Bay. What do you call it?
It's a village.
A village of Lions Bay. It's one of the most beautiful places on the Sea to Sky Highway that goes between Vancouver and Whistler. And one of the features of the Sea to Sky Highway are the spectacular views of the ocean and the islands.
So one thing I was wondering about was the solid state drive. We don't have one with the car. I think you probably did a video. I think I saw it come up. I didn't kind of look at anything, but
it was the Jetta SSD.
Oh yeah, right.
That's correct.
So why do I need one? What does it do?
Well, look, there are two things that the car does very well. One, the dash cam will film as you're driving. You can get a record of an accident that happens ahead of you, or perhaps you're involved in an accident. And the other one, of course, is a thing called Sentry Mode. And if you leave your car unattended somewhere, you can turn Sentry Mode on. And any person that approaches too close, comes and touches your car, bumps the car, any of that, Sentry Mode will immediately begin recording, front, back, left and right, so that you have a record of who it was, what they did, and what they got up to. Where does that footage go? It doesn't go into the cloud. You have to record to a USB drive.
See, that seems worth doing. That seems like a good idea.
So this is the famed Sea to Sky Highway, and a great trip for Autopilot. Have you done more than 40K?
Have I gone more than 40K in this car? As a matter of fact, we're going 61 right now.
Okay, so let's get to a slightly straighter area.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have the ability at this point here. So we're looking at the screen here. I do not see the Autopilot symbol yet. Find a place where we can pull over.
Let's do it.
Car controls over here obviously control everything. And by the way, your glove box is just here. You can also try, and I don't know if this will work over here, but open glove box. There we go. So you don't have to hold it down, you just press it once and you issue your command.
Let me try it. Set Autopilot.
So you've got to have a command that's actually in existence. So we're going to go into Autopilot here and just look at Auto Steer Beta. You're going to agree to this? Do you agree?
I agree.
Okay, yes. Full self-driving visualization. Preview, yes please. So this will bring the vehicle to an actual stop. Try it. It's great. It's one pedal driving. You lift your foot and you keep lifting it off and it will come to a stop at the lights. It'll actually, you don't have to touch the brake at all.
And roll is like an old school car.
Oh, it's an old school car. It'll just go like it's in neutral.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So you'll notice on the screen that you now have an Autopilot symbol there. Auto Steer is now there. Let's go for a double press. Oh, let go.
Wow.
Now, there's the visualizations.
If I want to decrease the speed, there we go.
Yeah, you just roll the right-hand wheel up a little bit.
Right on
now,
the speed
one way to do it is just to rest your hand there, and the constant tension is enough to make it feel that you're in control.
And not asleep.
Yeah, well, if you take your hands off after a while, it's going to give you a little bit of a message over there and tell you that you have to. A lot of people think they have to squeeze the wheel. It's not squeezing. It's rotational tension that tells the car you're still in charge. We're driving along in basic Autopilot. It will not auto lane change and it will not take an exit off ramp.
Right.
But this is all you need on a long trip. This is phenomenal.
I mean, this is insane. If my dad saw this and could try this, blow his mind. Just blow his mind. Now, if the white lines are faded, or if you get on the road with the lines are bad, then it goes a bit funny, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it does a very good job, even when the lane markings are pretty poor. It does a really good job. Yeah, it does. So at this point here, we're going to double back, get onto the Sea to Sky, but this time heading toward Vancouver.
So this will come right to a stop then?
It will. Yeah, it did.
Wow.
Yeah. Try that out when we get off the freeway on near your house. You can see here that you're heading sort of backwards over here. Just tap that to orient yourself north.
Oh, okay.
I mean, most people like to orient themselves to what's ahead.
Yeah.
Now let's see what it does here, because you don't have auto lane change. There we are, just centered, put itself between the lines and continued without a hitch.
That's insane. Yeah, it's pretty freaky, isn't it?
How does it feel?
Yeah, a little freaky. Like sort of heading towards the curve to the right, and I'm heading right into it like a vehicle, and eventually like. See, I would prefer if I'm driving it myself on these lanes, on the curves, I would straighten it out so that on a right-hand curve, I'm hugging the right a little bit, and on the left-hand curve, maybe not against traffic, I wouldn't hug the left, but this tends to want to stay kind of right in the middle, which is a little bit unnerving.
Right, it tends to stay exactly in the middle, purely because that is the safest area. But a human doesn't drive like that. A human takes the inside edge on both ways. So one of the big mysteries of full self-driving is going to be how much can you humanize it?
Right.
To what degree can you make the car like you?
There's your view for you.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, what a vehicle. It's just pretty amazing.
And it doesn't take that long to get used to it.
Yeah, I'm sure you can figure it out. I do wish there was a couple more buttons. I wish there was something here, maybe a couple here. Elon, if you're listening,
Are you filming?
if you're watching, Elon, I'd like another couple buttons right here.
The cry of a newbie is a sad and plaintive one. Turning off into the little village of Lions Bay.
Just turned off the. Now we're gonna
Get
come
back
to
to the terrible driveway.
Gonna come to a dead stop here, aren't we?
Yeah, there's no cars behind you. Mabel is super concerned. She jumped up instantly as the car came to a stop.
She's
But
saying,
what a well-behaved passenger.
yes, she's
Better than a
excellent.
human, honestly.
She's better than a human in a lot of ways.
Wow.
So when you're on a hill, then at a light, it won't roll back because it's going to stay locked there,
It won't.
just like you're on your brake.
Try it somewhere here. Let it come to a stop. Now, just take your foot off.
Yeah.
Oh, Mabel.
It's
on.
Yeah.
So
Look at
that's
that.
that's the same as putting your foot in the brake.
That's the same as putting your foot on
Wow.
the brake. Okay, now here's the question. Will you be able to get up the drive with Janine in the back? Meaning that the clearance might have been reduced a little bit by all three of our bodies.
Oh, let's try it. Hang on tight, Mabel. And these rocks stick out like daggers.
Oh.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Yeah, you can hear it just
Complains a little bit, but it's still.
chirping a little bit. That's amazing. Straight up.
Yeah,
Perfect clearance.
no problem.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
First
Wow.
autopilot drive for Darrin.
And this car is great. Yeah, fun. Crazy.
This is a Model 3 2021. Quite different. So, how do you push that back, Darrin? Oh, you push it all the way back. All right. Storage. What do we got down underneath there? There's a light.
What I got is my HomeLink remote control.
Yeah, but there's no home link up there. Okay. Same cup holders, but looking a little bit more refined than on the old 2018 Model 3. Push that in, and we close that compartment. So if we open this over here, where's the tray that sits at the top here? Has that been dispensed with?
I think so.
So there's your 12 volt plug.
So where's the USB? Or
So given that it's recording, it recorded the whole of our trip, or at least a lot of it.
yeah,
If we go into camera mode, we can say launch the viewer. We can literally scroll back
Yeah,
in
like-
time.
we were out for about an hour.
That's our journey. So I'm not 100% sure how much you have, what storage you have, and quite where it is. You cannot get inside here.
It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem that pops open. And then, are these like USB-Cs right there or something?
2 USB-C ports.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, let's just feel if there's anything. I'm just going to feel underneath here and see if I can just check down there. So you could put a flash drive directly into that,
Yeah.
but I'm wondering about the wireless charging. There's one ritual that you have to abide by. Everyone names their car. What have you called it?
Indeed. Remember I told you my wife is primarily driving this?
Yep.
Yeah. She named it.
And?
She named this one Eloise.
Let's go and have a look at the controls here. See if it's in there under software. Ah, there we go. So Mabel's a little reluctant to let Janine out the car because she's way too comfortable. So you notice that the Model 3 comes with chrome delete built in. Door handles are a nice black color. Mabel's a nice black color to match. She looks quite distressed that you're actually getting out.
Did I tell you that comes with the trunk? Automatic trunk or the trunk lift?
It does?
Yeah.
Do it.
I was thinking at some point of getting it put in and then like you did, but it actually comes with it.
My gosh, I spent a whole day installing mine.
No, I watched the video.
A whole day installing mine.
Look at that.
Yeah, I got the button in the same place. That, you know what, almost makes up for that free internet.
Not quite.
No, that is brilliant.
Yeah, it's kind of,
That's brilliant. Well, I'm really happy. Welcome to the family. Thanks very much for taking the time. And I'm envious of your center console. I'm envious of your Chrome Delete. Envious of a lot of things. But I do have endless internet built in forever. I enjoy that part a lot, eh?
Yeah. No, thanks, Peter. I learned some things about my car.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you and Eloise get better acquainted. So we're going to head off to Costco, do some shopping now. Thanks, Darrin.
Thanks, buddy.